So it's really true. When I was making this film, it like a part of my life is still in that village. When I met those people, when I talked with them, when I interacted with them, when I met those villagers, films are being made. The problem is in distribution. They are not reaching the people. Also hear about this term target audience, which I really don't believe again. Because I don't believe many things being said. Acting, that is not. Now you just go and watch Assamese films, you will get to see good acting, good direction, good writing, and everything is good. And we must pull the reins very strongly now, because
this is and I welcome you all to the second season of Yorehstudios presents Cinetre Talks Art on Stage. It's a show that brings you some of the unique talents from the Assamese cinema and the theatre world. We have with us a young director who has directed documentary films like 40 Years in the Wild and Sabdhan. And today he is famous for his first ever feature film, Sijou, that has received accolades and appreciation in film festival circuit in India and abroad. Yes, you guessed it right. He is none other than Mr. Vishal Chaliha. So welcome Vishal on our show.
Thank you.
And congratulations for your success of Sijou.
Thank you very much.
Well, we have seen the trailer of Sijou and it looks quite promising. So let's trace back and to the conceptualization of the idea of Sijou and how was the experience like?
Actually, the film is based on a feudal land tenure system which existed in Bhutan till 1958. So I didn't know about it. One of the producers of the film, Mr. Om Prakash, he has also acted in the film. So he came to me one day with this entire thing, this idea of slavery, and he's introduced me to this kind of thing because I was not familiar with the slavery system which existed like next to my door. So I didn't know about it. So that intrigued me a lot. I immediately had an inclination that I'm going to make something on this subject, on this issue, and I just went out. I did my research very extensively, and then I figured out, okay, fine, I'm going to make a film on this.
How challenging it was while you were researching for the film?
Very much, because I was searching for some written piece. So generally, when you are making a film on some historical events, you can you get some books or some articles from where you can have that idea. So when I went out and when I just started my research, I found that no one wrote anything on this thing. There was just one novel where just a little bit of light was thrown on this subject, but rest in a detailed way I didn't found anything. So I just went out, I just did interviews, and I found those descendants of the slaves who are currently living in the border areas, and there are also many people who are living in Bhutan. There's a place out there known as Punakha. So if you go there, you will find many people who look like us, like Indians. So generally Bhutanese people, we see those Mongoloid features, but you will find many people who look like us, like the rest of North Indians, you can say. So actually they are now Bhutanese. They speak Dzongkha, they live there, they work there. So the slaves were granted citizenship after 1958. So like that, I just did my research, I conducted interviews, and from that I created a fictional story out of it.
So since it's a fictional film, you needed actors. So how was your process of bringing actors? Like, did you audition them?
Yes, I had. Actually, I needed many kids for my film. When you'll watch it, you'll come to know the entire film revolves around the story of a small boy, hardly of 11 or 12 years of age. So along with him, I needed his friends. So I just went out to a school in Barpeta district, and there actually I needed Boro actors, like people who having those tribal features. And it's very hard to find someone who has those Mongolic feature, plus he is also a good actor. So I went to a school, I took out say 10 or 15 boys among them, and then I just did some workshop there for 1 week, and from those 10-20 boys I just selected 7 or 8. Yes, there were 7 or 8 boys. And after that, again I did workshop with those 7-8 kids, and then we just did the shoot.
So you did the mentorship, right?
Yes. I just sent 2 of my assistants, Dhiraj and Zubin. So they know how. Actually, we all did theatre together, so we all know how to work with actors or who are senior actors and also who are newcomers. We have learned the entire process of like how to teach acting to a newcomer. So we know that.
That must be quite an adventure. Right?
Yes, very much. We used to stay in like remote villages where our houses were surrounded with all kind of trees and all. Like we just had that feeling of living inside a dense jungle, and there we used to do those workshops. And I just had that idea that, and that was I took my actors to the set where our set was constructed, and I made them rehearse the scenes there. So in that way, I just felt that they will feel much more into the character, much more into the scene, much more into the story. So I did like that.
So before Sijou, you have done documentary films, and one of them is Saavdhan. It was released in the year 2017. Yes, and I believe it's your first foray into filmmaking.
Yes.
So would you like to share the journey behind it?
Actually, the cinematographer of the documentary, Ashutosh. So Ashutosh and I, we met over Facebook. So we just talked and we decided that okay, someday we'll go out and do a photo shoot out there in the slum, in that garbage dumping ground. So when I went out there, I never knew about that. When I just saw those big mountains made up of garbages, I was shocked to see those things. So then I said, okay, someday I will make something here. So then I came back, and then me, Ashutosh, Saustava and Amitav, we decided, okay, fine, we'll go and make a documentary there. We'll just show the point of view of those people living out there in those garbage ground from the point of view of a child. So like that, I just went out, I just made a documentary, I sent it to the festival, and it was screened there. They just invited me, and when I just went there, I was like again in a shock, because this is my very first documentary, and I was sitting there in Germany, and those Germans were clapping like after my documentary was screened. So like it was very, very, very much like it was a very big thing for me. And even that same thing happened with Sijou, because it's my very first film which I've written and directed earlier, because I never went to any film school.
Okay.
So I just studied cinema right at my home. I read about films. I read how to make films. I read a lot of books, and I studied films by watching films, world cinema. So like that, I learned about films, and that what was I saying? Yes, about Sijou. Yes. So I just made my film like that, very first film like that, and then when it was screened at Indian Panorama, like it was a very big thing for me, like getting into Indian Panorama, which is the most prestigious segment.
Yeah.
Film segment, you can say, of our country. So I'm still like, wow.
So since it was your first documentary film,
Yes.
Yeah. So was there any challenges that you faced?
No, actually, even if there were any challenges, I didn't notice it, because I was enjoying that period.
Okay.
So I just enjoy it. Someone else, when I just tell them that okay, this is how I've made this film, so they say okay, it's a very challenging thing. But when I realized, okay, was it really challenging? I didn't even notice it, because I enjoyed the entire process of making it, right from the writing stage to the pre-production, then going out and doing the research, then the production, the shoot, and again in the post-production. It's a very learning experience for me.
You had that passion in you.
Oh yes, maybe that's why.
Yeah. How was your experience like in the film festival circuit?
See, first of all, the reason why I believe festivals are important, and that is the environment. When you go to a festival, like to those good festivals out there, the big festivals out there, you get to meet a lot of people out there, like working in different departments of a film, from marketing, from from production, from like distributors and all. So from them you get to learn a lot of things. That's the very first thing, the environment. And second is that you get the chance to meet different filmmakers from different parts. So they come to those festivals with their films, with their culture, and you get that exposure, you get the chance of learning about their cinema, about their way of making films, how they are making, how challenging it is for them, or what kind of environment from where they belong, you get to know about it. So there is a very important reason behind which festivals are important. And secondly, the festival gives that platform for those filmmakers who cannot afford to go and release their film theatrically.
Yeah.
So if you go and screen your film at any big festival, like say in India, like in Kerala, like International Film Festival of Kerala, or in E04, the International Film Festival of India, if you make your film screen there, at least you will get a good number of audience, a good number of people will watch your film, and from them you can get an idea regarding the reception of your film.
Okay.
And after that you can go and release your film, because once your film gets screened at any big festival, you will find producers, you will find distributors who are willing to distribute your film like that.
It becomes an achievement.
Achievement, yes, you can say achievement, but nowadays many filmmakers have taken this achievement in a very wrong way.
Yeah.
Because wrong way, it's not a mistake of the filmmakers, I'll say it's a scam. Just some minutes ago I was just speaking about it with one of your teammates. So again I'm saying that is, nowadays if you go and search about film festivals in Google, apart from the big film festivals which are accredited by FIAPF, the Federation of International Film Producers Association, which recognizes film festivals, apart from those festivals, there are many festivals out there who are just giving you laurels by those festival directors. They're just sitting inside their home, they have just turned on the laptop, they're just giving out laurels. Those festivals don't even take physically. So it's a very big scam going out there, and many filmmakers are becoming a victim of that system. So you don't go into those kind of films, into those kind of film festivals. And those filmmakers, they say that their films have achieved this and these awards in those festivals. Those festivals don't even exist.
Exactly.
It's a scam out there. So you should target for big festivals, and if your film goes there, then you can say, okay, it's an achievement. Yes, you can say it's an achievement.
Yeah, but how do you differentiate between the real film festivals and those that are scamming?
See, first of all, I have said the FIAPF accreditation. FIAPF, the Federation of International Film Producers Association. You go to the website, you will find 13 or 15 festivals are there, which they have given recognition, which includes Cannes, Berlin, Venice, Karlovy Vary, in India, E04, then a section of Kolkata, International Kolkata Film Festival, and this Kerala. And even recently Bengaluru has received that accreditation. And rest, there are also some good festivals which has not achieved that recognition, but if you go through the website, we'll come to know the audience, the attendance of the audience in those festivals. So we can figure out that, okay, whether it's a good festival or not by doing that research. But the problem is something, because they don't even do this research, they just submit their films, and on a monthly basis these festivals are giving you laurels. It's a very big scam out there.
So proper research is really important.
Very much.
Especially the aspiring filmmakers. They usually get fall into this trap, and of course, I hope they are listening to you.
Yes. Even I was also a victim of this scam, but not much, because I do a lot of research, in whatever field I work. I have that habit of researching, knowing about it. So I just came to know about it. Okay, fine, this is a very big scam going out there, and I'm not going to be a victim of it.
Vishal, so you are a storyteller, and how do you find making a documentary film different from a feature film?
See, documentary is like you're just going and covering up the story of a person. Okay, so when you are making a feature film, it's a whole fictional thing out there. You are creating a story. There is a central character out there who is playing the person through whose point of view a film is being told. So that's the basic difference, I think, that in a feature film, in those films, you have to maintain that kind of linearity in terms of telling a story. Like the character is traveling from here, then here, he's struggling, he's facing obstacles, and at last the conclusion, whether he achieves his goal or not. But when it comes in documentary, you are just covering up that particular event or that particular person. So that is what one of the major difference between a feature film and a documentary.
Which one do you enjoy the most?
Feature film.
Feature film. And why is it so?
Because I have that freedom and I have that flexibility to tell a story in my own way. Because when I go out and make a documentary, that particular event has already happened. I cannot go and change it. It has already happened. I'm just covering it up. And the ways can be different. Like my way can be different or someone else's way can be different. But when I'm making a feature film, I have that flexibility of telling a story from my point of view, how I see it, how I see the world. Though there are some true events out there, if like in Sijou, those events they took place like before 1958. So I create a story out there. That's my point of view. And every film has the point of view of the director, what he is trying to send, what is his stand. In my film, when you will watch it later, you will come to know that I've taken a very strong stand against jingoism, the extreme form of nationalism, because of which nowadays you can see a lot of wars are happening. That's the result of the extreme form of nationalism. That's my stand. The events took place, there was slavery, but I just took out those events and I created a story in my own, and then I made this film where I've expressed my point of view. So that flexibility I get when I make a feature film. In a documentary, like I'm just covering it up.
As you have said, in Sijou you have mentioned about the extreme form of nationalism. So do you think it still prevails in our country or anywhere in the world?
Yes, very much. Nowadays you'll find this extreme form of nationalism going around everywhere. Everywhere. Like nationalism is good, everyone must love their country. The best example is the Olympics. You get to see that people represent their country there. But no one is fighting with one another. They're just competing with one another in a very constructive way. That is good. But when this extreme form of nationalism comes, that your country is the greatest, no one else is better than you, and you have to go and wage a war against someone else, only then you are a true patriot. That's the very wrong definition of nationalism being circulated nowadays.
Of course.
So this is wrong.
Do you think there are some ways to, resolve this issue or at least minimize this issue?
Like I think it's a very big thing out there. I'll have to do a lot of research on it. But as of now, I will say that everything can be mended. Like if it is affecting the lives of other people, then it's a very wrong thing, and we can stop it immediately. We must start doing certain educative programs where we are giving that education to the masses. That this is not the nationalism that you are trying to understand or the one that you are spreading. You must love your country, but you cannot go and harm someone else's out there.
Of course. And some form of discussion is necessary.
Very much. You turn on any news channel in our country, everyone is always putting a blame on Pakistan. That country cannot do anything to us. We are far bigger and far powerful country than that country. But everyone is putting that attention to that country itself. Otherwise, people will not watch that channel. So that's a very wrong thing being circulated out there. Like only if you blame someone else, only then you are a true patriotic, which is not.
We have seen your music video Sijou.
Oh yes.
So and it looks really aesthetic and beautiful. So would you like to share some journey behind it?
Actually, that entire music video was made out of a road trip. We went to Spiti Valley. Actually, apart from making films, I'm very much into exploring places on bikes. I really love doing, into bike rides and all. So I just decided, okay, fine, we'll go to Spiti Valley along with my friends and my elder brother. So when we went there, we decided, okay, fine, we'll shoot something. So the music video that you have watched, it was not at all a planned music video. When I was in Kaza, the capital of Spiti Valley, in the morning I just wake up. After waking up, my elder brother, he said, okay, let's do a shoot. Let's make a music video. Then I said, how can you make a music video without even preparing, without even writing? He said, okay, no, let's make it. The locations are very beautiful, it's very exotic. Just look at the landscapes. And Spiti Valley is immensely beautiful. I really love that Tibetan region. So I just had that idea that, okay, fine, I'm going to make a music video where the point of view will be of a rider. And he is expressing love, but love not in that typical way, like the ones that we see, girls and boy dancing around in fields, not that one. The love can be expressed in many ways. Love for your father, love for your pet, love for your country, for anyone. So I just decided, okay, fine, I'm going to express the meaning of love through a relationship between a father and a son.
But as you said, it was not pre-planned.
Yes.
How did you get the idea to create the story of a son and a father?
Actually, I just sat there for 1 hour in the hotel room all alone. I asked him that, okay, I just need some time. Let me think about it. And in a way, this story is also related to me because I lost my father when I was in class 9. I love bike riding.
Yeah.
So in a way, you can see this music video is expressing a part of mine.
Okay.
So like that, I think it came out.
So, did you also prepare a script for it?
No. I just wrote down certain points, 3 or 4 points that these are the things that I want. These are the things that we are going to shoot. So like that, I just did it. We didn't have any kind of fully prepared script.
Yeah, but it turned out to be very beautiful, and it seemed like you all guys already prepared for it.
No, not at all. We are not at all prepared.
So Vishal, when was the first time you thought about being a director?
Like immediately after making my very first documentary. After going to Germany, after getting my documentary being screened there, watching my film on a very big screen, right at that moment, okay, this is what I want. I want to tell stories. I want to express my point of view through cinema. So in the year 2017, in Germany, in Frankfurt, I had that, you can say, zeal or that passion just came out that, okay, fine, I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to be a director because when I'll write and when I'll direct films, I'll have that freedom and I'll have that chance of expressing myself.
So, going about the nature and essence of your work, it seems you are very much connected to the people and your surroundings. So, how is the journey like of knowing and understanding people in the world through filmmaking?
Well, I'm still trying to understand culture even now. But when I was making this Sijou, I get to know about the Boro people in a much more detailed way, in a much more clear way. Because I didn't know about them. Though my mother belongs to the Boro community, but still I was not familiar with the stories, with the myths, with the beliefs. So this filmmaking itself is a journey. As Andrei Tarkovsky said that when you make a film, I just forgot the exact quote what he said, but the meaning was that when you make a film, the film takes a part of you. So it's really true. When I was making this film, it like a part of my life is still in that village. When I met those people, when I talked with them, when I interacted with them, when I met those villagers, and I just came to know about them through this film. If I haven't made Sijou, then maybe I would have never known about them in this way. So it's a very, like, cinema gives you that chance to know about people and even introspect yourself, to know about yourself. That introspection is very much necessary when you are an artist. Like how you see the world, how you feel about things, how you feel about people, how you feel about a particular language, how you feel about the current happenings, the things happening around you. What's your stake? What's your point of view? These kind of things. I would like to say that I'm very lucky that I belong to this field where a lot of introspection takes place. At least I'm aware of the things. Because nowadays many people are not aware of the surroundings. That's where the problem is. We are not aware. We don't know why it's happening. You must ask, okay, this is the reason why it's happening. That is the reason why it happened. So this, field, cinema. Cinema gives me that space to explore myself and also explore other people through this making process.
How do you explore people and things apart from just reading books or watching television or anything?
See, I observe people a lot. Like when I go out, even now while coming here, I was just refueling my car. So there, even wherever I go on my daily basis, I just observe people, what they do, what they not. Even someone is putting a fuel inside my car, I just observe him, how is he putting it inside, how he looks, how he turns. Because cinema is that itself, like your surroundings. That is what cinema is all about. You don't put any alien thing out there on screen, isn't it? You just put your surroundings or experiences. That's what cinema is. Until and unless you are copying, that's a different thing. But if you're making cinema in a genuine and true sense, everything will come out from your experiences, from your observation. And that I do every day. Not just when I make a film, I just do that on a daily basis.
Yeah, and in this filmmaking department or especially in acting, we are always told that you must observe people, not just people, animals and everything around you. But most of the time it gets difficult for us because our attention span is getting very low. So any tips for that?
Okay, that becomes difficult because you are taking it as a task, as a duty that you will have to do it. When you just take things very casually and in a very easy way, like every day you just wake up, you take a bath. You don't think, okay, I'll have to take a bath today. If you just fix that thing in your mind, it will become difficult for you. Just do it very casually, isn't it? So in the same way, observing people, if you just make it a part of your day-to-day life, then it becomes very easy for you. That's it. Everything, if you take it simply and casually, things become easy.
Okay.
That's the main thing. There's
Let's
nothing.
not take things too seriously.
Yes, don't take things seriously. Like, give a thought to it once or twice, then just let it be. Just go out and do it.
You have done theatre in many theatre festivals, and one of them was Jashne Bachpan at National School of Drama. So, how was your experience like, and when was the first time you thought about stepping into the theatre world?
Okay, I'll have to go back, and this answer will be quite long. Can I just say it?
Of course.
Yes. Okay. It was in the year 2014, because prior to that, prior to coming to theatre, I was into this regular kind of city boy, like getting messed up with people, with other schoolboys, fighting around, roaming around, doing all those kind of things. I was never sure that someday I will come and join theatre or into this come into this field of art. So it just happened in the year 2014 when one of my close friend, very dear friend of mine, Maharshi Kashyap, is also a filmmaker. Recently he just graduated from SRFTI. So he was also into theatre before going to SRFTI. So he asked me, okay, come and join theatre. You join our school. And then I joined Guwahati Cinetre Vidyalaya. I took tutelage under Manik Roy. He's my acting teacher. So right then I started to perform at various theatre festivals. I learned acting from him. I learned how to see art from, I learned observing art from him. He taught us many things, Mr. Manik Roy. So he has a very big contribution in my life. And then I just came out of theatre, and in the year 2018 I just started making films. So theatre, I really miss theatre, like traveling to many places, like with your group, you go out there, you make your own props, you decorate the stage, the things that you all are doing now. Like it's a teamwork. It's very interesting, because when you have a lot of money out there with you, you can do anything. But this thing, like doing it as a whole, as a team, that emotion, like you don't get it when you have everything ready. So that thing I've learned in theatre, that teamwork, that discipline, that punctuality I've learned from theatre. So I really miss performing on stage.
Has it helped you in your direction life as well?
Yes, very much, because every art form is connected with one another. The very thing in cinema that we call as mise-en-scène, it's a kind of filmmaking technique where you don't have any cuts. That term itself has been derived from theatre. Out there, mise-en-scène means actually what you see on screen out there, be it props, actor, lights, everything. So every art form is connected to one another. And when I was in theatre, like you have said, it has helped me in directing. As I've said that I have conducted many workshops when I was making Sijou. So how to teach acting to actors, I learned that in theatre. So like that, it has helped me a lot. And as I did theatre, it helped me to have that point of view of how an actor thinks or feels when he's being directed. So that stage I can understand.
Yeah, that's very helpful, as you can understand what the actors are thinking.
What actors are thinking. And I generally give that space to my actors. Like that's my way. There are many directors who are strict. That's their way, and I respect that. But my way, I give that space, that liberty to actors. I just give them that notion, that idea, that this is the thing that I want. You just give me. How you give me, it's up to you. I don't want to know about it. Just give me this thing. And if something comes out which I haven't planned, and if it's beautiful, and if it's creating more impact on my story, then I take it.
But if sometimes the actors find it difficult in understanding the story, or as you said, you give the freedom to the actors, to work, to act the way they want. So if they find it difficult in doing that, how do you help them?
Okay, as of now, no actor has felt that with me, so I cannot say that. Maybe if someday that kind of thing happens, then definitely I will figure it out. But basically, I will say, you just spend time with your actors.
Of course.
Give them that space. Tell or narrate your story, your point of view, and try to learn about them. If they are doing something different which you haven't decided, then try to know why are they doing it differently. What's their point of view? Try to understand their state of mind. then only you can change it or mold it the way you want it. If you are just putting a pressure on them, okay, do this, and if they are not knowing or not getting your idea, then it will never happen. It will create chaos out there, isn't it? So you just try to know this state of mind, and in order to know the state of mind of a person, you have to spend time with them.
Exactly. So we have known about your number of works and projects that have already shown your talent and the unique skill sets you have. But I believe the people admire you, are also intrigued to know you as a person. So how would you describe yourself, Vishal?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer. You can say I love staying with my friends, with my childhood friends, Yoreh, Abhinav and all. I love spending time with them. Actually, I just make films and then I just immediately come out of that zone. I don't spend much time with the people associated with it. Because I have my own space, I have my own life, because cinema is not the only thing of my life, isn't it? There are other parts also that I love enjoying, that is riding bikes, going out for hiking, trekking and like those adventures out there. Reading books. I love reading books, I read a lot of books. And like knowing about stars, cosmos and all. I love spending time with those people who share same kind of ideas like me, like who are into studying our existence, from where we came, why we came, all those kind of things that people say you are mad. Generally people consider those people as mad who think about it all the time, that the reason behind our existence, all those kind of things that I always think about it, that why are we here, and are we alone or are we not in this grander scale out there.
Sometimes it just come in our mind randomly.
Yes, it just comes randomly, but that is the most important thing actually.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the most important thing. Why are we here? And what's out there? Up there. Or even down there.
Yeah.
Because if you go down below, you will find, okay, stars traveling around, rotating around, revolving around. So, ultimately finding your existence, if you just go out and see my Facebook or social media profiles, my status is always out there, explore. Because I'm still exploring. Through cinema, I'm exploring. And even the scripts that I'm writing now, most of them are science fiction, some are action adventure, but there also I'm exploring the ancient past or the distant future out there. I love exploring things, be it anything, and mostly I'm into this astronomy, but apart from that, I just love traveling around. That's what I am. Read books, eat a lot of food. I love eating.
Are you somewhere in science background or have you?
No, I'm from commerce.
Okay.
I did my honors in management, and but actually when I was in class 10, my marks in science were quite good, and many people just asked me, okay, they just advised me to go and study science, but I decided to study commerce because it was a very new thing for me. Because when you are going for science, at least you have an idea, you will get to learn about physics, chemistry or biology. Or if you go for arts, you'll get to learn about history, English, sociology and all that. But commerce was a very new thing for us because the maths out there, the accounts was totally different. It was very different. So that's why I just opted for
So you were good in maths?
No. I was good. I was not good in maths.
Yeah.
I just wanted to learn about the business kind of thing.
Okay.
So I was very good at business studies and entrepreneurship, all that. And luckily also I just got, you can say, 95, 96 out there in my boards in business studies and entrepreneurship out
That's
there.
quite amazing.
Actually, I love studying about business and all.
We see many people having different notions and opinions about cinema. Their definitions are different. So as a director, what is cinema according to you?
Cinema for me is expressing myself. Cinema gives me that chance to put out my point of view on screen and let people watch it and let them decide what they are getting out from it. That's what cinema is for me. And also cinema gives me the chance to know about other people, to know about other culture, to know about different point of views. Because for me, a good cinema is which has these three things: the knowledge, the motivation and the inspiration out there. So when I watch any film, be it any European film or be it any, say for example, films of Jean-Luc Godard or films of Akira Kurosawa or films of like Hong Sang-soo. So if I watch their films, I come to know about their culture, about their people, about the European people, about the Korean people, about the Japanese people out there. So this gives me the chance to know about cultures, about people, about different point of views, because see, this world is full of so many people, and every people has different, so many point of views. And when you watch a film of a person, suppose you are making a film out there.
Yeah.
So if I watch your film, I'll get to know about you.
Exactly.
You don't have to say that, okay, I'm this kind of person, I'm that kind of person. Your cinema speaks what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
That's a very, true and genuine thing. If you are making cinema in a genuine way, not just copying and doing all those kind of stuffs. If you are making cinema in a very honest way, your cinema will speak who you are. So from films you can have an idea, okay, what kind of person the director is, the writer is. So this cinema gives me that chance.
Of course. And how far do you think entertainment is important in every cinema?
See, that's a very important thing that you asked, and I would like to answer it from the grassroots level. See, first of all, mainly in our country, the films were being made only by a limited number of people in Mumbai.
Yeah.
Like after shifting from Kolkata, when the film city was shifted from Kolkata to Mumbai, very few people were making it. So someone in the past used those kind of songs and dances in their films, and like that, those films were made available to the people.
Yeah.
People watched it. Okay, so by seeing those filmmakers, more filmmakers came into this movie business. They started making films with those same elements, and it was carried on.
Yeah.
The legacy continued for generation after generation until the advent of internet. Because prior to internet, people didn't have any option. They thought that, even I thought, the kind of films that I watched, the kind of films being made by like those kind of typical drama films that we used to watch during our childhood. So I just thought that, okay, this is what cinema is all about. But when I was introduced to internet, when I came to know, okay, fine, cinema is totally different out there in the world.
Yeah.
So when I had that option, I understood, okay, entertainment, it is different, and the word entertainment is very rigid in our country. If you mean entertainment, you just say that you must have those kind of item songs, masala dance and all, but entertainment is very different. If you are watching a film, you are crying, that is also entertainment.
Of course.
If you are watching a film and you are getting scared, that is also an entertainment, isn't it? So you cannot define entertainment like in one word or in one sentence. So, and nowadays, even after the advent of internet, people had that chance. I'm just saying one wrong thing, but to be very honest, I must say that because of internet, people were able to download pirated files of the movies, and because of that, people were exposed to world cinema. And that's why you can see foreign films are able to take market in our country, because the audience are delving into foreign films. They are getting options, so they are watching those films. So you don't see Hindi films the way English films are being sold in India, the way Hindi films are not sold in other countries.
Okay.
The Hindi films that you say, they are only sold to the Indian diaspora living out there, not to the foreign nationals.
Of course.
The foreigners, they are not so much familiar with the Hindi films. One or two will be familiar, but not much. But the way English language is also a very important thing. But to be very honest, Korean films are able to break through in America. Why? Because they are using their language. They are not like dubbing their film and releasing in America, isn't it? They are just using their own original language. So in the same way, we must redefine, this thing called entertainment. It's a very rigid thing. And we filmmakers must redefine it. And nowadays we can see that many filmmakers are trying to bring that change, and we can see that change. OTTs are a game changer, you can say, in India. We saw the rise of so many good actors, isn't it? If you go and watch OTT platforms, you will find all the good actors are working there. The definition of entertainment is getting changed. So with that, I would like to say that there is people also define on the basis of entertainment that there is something called as commercial film and something called as art film, which does not exist at all, and I really don't believe at it. There is only cinema.
Yeah.
Cinema is an art form. You don't have to define it by saying that, okay, it's a commercial film, it's an art film. Every film has commerce in it. When you make a film, you will have to go and sell it. So when you sell it, suppose your film took 1 crore to make it. So after making your film, if a film is earning more than 1 crore, it's a commercial hit.
Yeah.
If it is not earning more than 1 crore, then it's a commercial failure. Simple. So, but on that commerce thing, you cannot create a genre out of it. So this thing must be changed, and this thing must be, people must break it, that there is nothing called as commercial film, art film.
Exactly.
But as this legacy has continued for so many years, I'm not saying, and I don't think that I'm someone to tell someone, okay, make this kind of film or that kind of film. Let everyone make the kind of film they want to make, but there should be coexistence. The market should be open for all kinds of films, and let the audience decide.
And I believe that is true, and it's changing also.
Yes,
as
it's
you
changing.
mentioned, OTTs are coming, and
Yes.
new directors are coming up with new contents,
Yes.
new and fresh contents.
Definitely.
And I hope it will slowly change
Yes.
the industry in a better way.
Definitely, and currently in Assam we need more theatres. We need more theatres, and the film policy must get amended again.
Yeah.
Because to be very honest, I'm saying once you achieve something in your life, you'll have enough number of people coming out there to help you out. I'm just saying this in giving example of cinema, but it goes to all sectors. Suppose if today you are going out and you just want to go out and make a film, okay, you don't have any kind of experience, you don't have any kind of recognition, you are no one, but you just have that mad desire, but nobody will come and give value to you, to your desire, okay, only you know about it. So the film policy of Assam, it says that only if you are a national award winner, only then you will get funds from the government. That's where the problem is. If I'm a national award winner, why will I go to the government and ask for money? I will get from anyone.
Of course.
Isn't it? So that's where the problem lies. The new government of Assam, as we can see a lot of changes being made in every sector towards a progressive way. In the same way, we must see progress in the film. What was I saying? In the film policy. In the film policy, we must see progress in that policy. So the chance should be given to newcomers out there, not going and checking the background, who they are, what they are. The people sitting out there in the film division, they must go and see the story, what he has written. What he has written, and also ask for the kind of treatment that he's planning to go to do to the film. That's enough, I think. If you go out and check his bio, that how many awards he has achieved, how many festivals his films have traveled, I mean, he is coming to you to get the chance to go for those festivals. And even if you are not giving him that chance, how can he go there? I was lucky enough that my elder cousin brother and my mother, they just came out and they just produced this film. They saw that in me. But everyone cannot have that opportunity in their life. And for that reason, we must ask the government for that support. The government must extend that support. They are actually extending support to the established filmmakers, and that is important. That is nice. I appreciate it. That's a very good thing. But they should also extend their support to the new filmmakers out there who are just passing out from the film schools and they are figuring out what to do now. The support must be given to them.
That will bring in more progress.
Definitely. There are a lot of talents out there in our state who have that mad desire in them, and unfortunately, they just don't have that money to make a film. So that change must be brought, and I believe that soon we will see.
So we have seen many regional films being dubbed in Hindi, like RRR and KGF, and it's the talk of the town. So, do you think the country is seeing a change in the consumption pattern in cinema?
Definitely. The films are reaching people. As I have said, good films are made in every state. It's not like that India is not capable enough to go and compete with other filmmakers from the rest of the world, isn't it? Good films are being made. The problem is in distribution. They are not reaching the people. So with those South Indian films being made in Telugu, Tamil, so they are reaching people because of the language. Because Hindi is not being spoken by most of the Indians, it is still being understood. Hindi is being understood by almost most of the people in our country, isn't it? So because of the language, those films are reaching us. So in the same way, the films being made in Assam, they must also get dubbed, and it must be made available to the people, to the rest of India. Because see, apart from the film buffs will watch like any film in any language with those subs. But the rest of the audience, from where the makers will get back their money, they must get the chance of watching that film. Those films must reach that section of audience, isn't it? So that is very much important. So yes, definitely, people are watching different films. People are watching films being made out of India, being made in any kind of language. Because nowadays we can see that change, and globalization and internet has created a very I mean, it has changed every sector, which includes cinema.
And of course, the dubbing has improved a lot.
Definitely, yes, it has improved. So in the same way, I will say, even I'm trying that my film reaches as many people as possible. It must reach. I mean, because see, the thing called you will also hear about this term target audience, which I really don't believe again.
Okay.
Because I don't believe many things being said by senior filmmakers out there. And why I don't believe is, when I was making this film, before getting into festivals, before getting recognitions and all, many people were asking me that, okay, your film is only for Boro people. So deep inside, I just thought, no, my film is for everyone.
Okay.
Because good cinema is for everyone. You watch a film of Martin Scorsese, you watch a film of Christopher Nolan, they don't come here and do a research in Assam and they think, okay, my film is going to reach the heart of the people living in Assam. No, you watch it, you enjoy it, that's it. It's simple. Good cinema is for everyone. There is nothing called target audience. When my film was getting screened in Bangalore International Film Festival, trust me, I'm saying this here, I just entered, like my film was about to finish, only 10 minutes were left. I was doing some interview there. So I just entered the screen, I just entered the theater, people were watching the film. As soon as my film got over, believe me, it was Kannada people out there, they were standing and clapping and blowing whistles.
Okay.
And the film was not even in the language. The film was in Boro language with the subtitles. And those people who were clapping and whistling, it included people of different age groups. People in the age group of 60s, people in the age group of 30s, in the 20s. They were enjoying my film. And at last, the person out there who plays that projector, he came out of that hole and he just shouted to me that, okay, you have made a nice film, like they just showed his thumb. I said, okay, thank you. And he just again went inside. So it's a very, I've got that proof there itself. Though I believe that there is nothing with target audience, but then again also, I just tried and tested and I was successful. I just know, okay, there's nothing called target audience. You make a good film, you make it available for the public, people will watch it.
It's the content that is, important. As people say that content is king.
Content is king, definitely. Story is king, what you're trying to say. No matter how big a star is in your film, for the 5 or 10 minutes you'll watch your film. Then rest everything is up to the director, what he is showing. Cinema is all about director. Theatre is all about actor. Whatever the actors will do on stage during that lifetime, that will be the final product. But whatever the director will decide about the film, that will be the final product. So director is the king. And directors and writers, and mostly writers, I have seen that many writers, they don't get their due. The writers don't get that credit. The way actors receive that recognition, receive that fame, receive that respect, in the same way the writers must receive that respect, that fame.
But why does it happen? Is it because
they are not seen? I don't know. I mean, the problem is, I think, when you are promoting a film, you just only take those actors along with you. Or whenever you are going and speaking about your film, you don't take those writers. The writers are always left behind. The writers must be taken to the front. It's them. They are writing it. And that's the problem, because of which you have seen the failure in Hindi cinema nowadays. The writers are not getting paid. The writers, the producers are not investing money on writers. They're investing money on the stars. The problem is that.
Yeah, like if they are not getting paid.
They're not getting paid.
Is that the reason the writers are not working that hard?
No, actually the writers are not given that much importance. The writers, they are just simply asked, okay, you watch that film, join them.
Okay.
And like that it's happening. And the writers, they will also have to survive. How can they sleep with hungry bellies? They need money to survive, isn't it? So that's why we have seen this failure. That's why the other films being made, because in India every film is regional film. Every film is regional film, okay? So that's why we can see films being made in other states, in other languages are getting that importance, because the writers are doing their work very nicely. The writers are given that importance.
Of course.
So the writers must be given that importance.
What are your views on the Assamese cinema and the opportunities you feel you have?
I will say that we have immense opportunities, and the reason is I'll have to elaborate it, and that is, see, when our industry started by the great Prasad Agarwala, he was one of the filmmakers in India who explored realism. Because during that period, as much as I have studied, as much as I have done my research, I found out that most of the films were being made from the mythological stories of India. Okay, so Jyoti Prasad was one of those few filmmakers who had that courage to go out and give a new point of view. He stood for a female in his very first film.
Yeah.
Isn't it? He just went out and explored realism, the one for which we all are striving now, to have that realism kind of thing in our films, isn't it? So he made that long back. So our industry just started. We saw the rise of like many great filmmakers like Bhavendranath Saiga, John Borba, sir and all. Then later our film industry, it just faced a very big downfall.
Yeah.
Okay, but now again, I'd like to quote, I'd like to say that after the films being made by Rima Das, being made by Bhaskar Hazarika and all, we saw the rise of good cinema being made in our state and coming out from our state. So now I think the ratio of good film and bad film in Assam is like, for good films it will be like 8 or 9, and for bad films it will be like 2 or 1.
Yeah.
8:1 or 9:2, 8:2 or 9:1 you can say, because a lot of good films are being made and you can see a lot of good actors, new faces are being seen. Isn't it? We don't see those old actors out there. Old, I'm not saying the age, old I mean the people who were acting in earlier films, because they used to move around their hands and they just thought that this is all about acting. That is not. Now you just go and watch Assamese films, you will get to see good acting, good direction, good writing, and everything is good. And we must pull the reins very strongly now, because these films have created a benchmark. And the new filmmakers out there, they must carry this legacy forward. And I believe that Assam, the current scenario, the current films has the potential to redefine the Indian cinema as a whole. The thing is, our films must reach the larger audience.
Of course.
And as of now, we need more theatres in Assam. At least 120 theatres we need for a state like Assam. We need film halls. And after that, we will see the industry will start to flourish, and eventually many producers will definitely come out to produce their films. That's it.
Of course, now Assamese films are getting more acceptance from the people.
Yes.
Many people are watching it.
Many people are watching it.
And the best thing is that, as you mentioned about the theatre thing, the theatre actors are coming up and doing films.
Yes, and I'm not being partial here, but also I have to be very honest, and that is, whenever I make a film, I just give priority to actors who have already acted in theatre.
Okay.
Actually, I love working with theatre actors. There are many filmmakers, I have heard from many people that theatre acting is different and film acting is different. That's totally rubbish. Acting is acting. Like getting into a character, it's same. You'll have to know his emotions, his experiences, his history. That's same. The difference comes, and that's a very minute difference, and that is in terms of execution.
Yeah.
On stage, you'll have to be loud, and on screen, it depends on the kind of shot being taken. If the shot is a very wide shot, then definitely you'll have to act in a very in a large way, isn't it? If the shot is very close, then you don't have to do that kind of stage acting or something like that, isn't it? So acting is acting, and I believe that every actor who wants to be an actor and then a star must go and do theatre. Theatre is the place where an actor is born.
Of course.
You will get to learn everything about acting from there. Everything. Like I have seen, there are many people out there, out of some actors, if you go out and if you do a research and if you see the world cinema history as a whole, most of the greatest actors are from theatre.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch, Gary Oldman, Manoj Bajpayee, Irfan Khan, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Nasiruddin Shah, Al Pacino. Then you see Kate Winslet, then you see Tom Hardy, then you see Eddie Redmayne. They all are from theatres. And from theatre they came to cinema.
Yeah, and of course I believe the theatre helps you in many ways. It helps you from head to toe using your body language.
Yes, everything. Every actor must go to theatre. I'm just saying it. If you want to be an actor and then a star, even if you want to come and work in movies, go to theatre at first. Learn about the ropes and then go for it. Because see, the problem is many actors, they are still confused what they want. Do they want to act in a good film or do they want just fame? So if you run after fame, you will be in trouble. You will have like frustration and all of that, because fame is not in your hand. It's a very outward thing. What you have with you, and that is how you can develop yourself.
And this option is very unpredictable.
Unpredictable. And nowadays you can see that all the good actors are getting that space. The good actors are becoming stars.
Yeah.
And that is very important. And if you are just a star, if you are running after fame, you will have just a very small period during which you can work. Because you can see only the so-called stars. The best example will be Amitabh Bachchan, I must say. Amitabh Bachchan is a good actor and then he is a star. Because along with Amitabh Bachchan, there are many other actors who were acting along with him. But today, they were nowhere. Only Amitabh Bachchan is still there and he is still performing because he is an actor and then he is a star. In the same way, if you are an actor, you will survive like all throughout your life. You don't have any problem. But if you are a star, you are just for a like limited amount of time. And then like you'll be nowhere.
Of course.
And that has happened with many people. You just go and do your research and you just go and study, you will find it out.
Of course, as an actor, I also believe that we must first learn the skill sets.
Yes.
And money and fame will come.
It will eventually come. Don't run after that. You just go and run after developing your craft.
Yeah. Exactly.
Developing yourself, observing people, learning about things. And as an actor, you must do study. And when it comes to art, people always think that art is something different and the reality, the society is different. No, art is the reflection of the society. The more you study about people, like when you're studying about acting, you just study how the great actors act or what are the techniques. Apart from that, you study about literature, you study about politics, you study about sociology, you study about everything, your surroundings around you. Because you'll have that knowledge and that knowledge will help you to get into character.
Exactly.
So that is very important.
Yeah, people do think, no, as an actor, you don't need to study or have formal education.
Yes, that is very wrong. That is very wrong. Everyone must be knowledgeable. Everyone must be aware of things. Only then you will be able to portray it on screen or on stage or even on writing or whatever, sculpting, painting, whatever.
That's very true.
Yes.
So, Vishal, as we conclude, what is that one thing you learned throughout your journey of filmmaking that you would want to share to the aspiring filmmakers?
If I have to say only one thing, and that will be always have that mad desire within you to tell a story. You don't have to know about the technological things. You'll have people will know about it. The thing is the mad desire, that passion within you to tell a particular story, that if you are not getting that chance to tell it, then you are going to die. You will have to tell it anyhow. That madness must be there. That this is a story that I'm going to tell, this is a story that I'm going to make a film on it, and I'm going to make it anyhow. That madness must be present inside every filmmaker out there.
Of course, that passion.
That passion. And if you have that passion, there is nothing called a struggle. There is nothing called a struggle at all. That passion, yes.
You don't feel the struggle.
You don't feel at all. There is nothing called a struggle. It's a very negative word being circulated. That struggle is something, then you just go out, you'll have those name, fame, money, you'll be happy. That's an illusion. That's an illusion. You make your film, you have that mad desire, and always carry the desire till your last breath, like till the day you are making film, for every film. That's it.
So we have come to the end of our interview session, and we would like to thank you for coming here. And we really enjoyed throughout.
Even I would like to thank you for hearing me. I spoke a lot, I guess. I spoke a lot of things.
Whatever you spoke was really important for the audience. And we wish you all the success in life.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Yorehstudios.